Welcome back to Primetime Sports Friday. A quick update on the World Cup qualifying encounter between Jamaica's Reggae Girls and Antigua and Barbuda taking place at the National Stadium. The Reggae Girls leading by a 0-0, Khadija Bonishaw scoring from the penalty spot in first half stoppage time. Now, at least one sports law attorney has raised concerns about the adjustments made by World Athletics to its transfer of allegiance regulations, which are designed to tighten its grip on athlete nationality switches. Here's Keon Rayner with that story.
24 hours after TVJ Sports reported that World Athletics approved changes to its transfer of allegiance regulations aimed at preserving the integrity of international competition, the question surrounding restriction of trade has come into sharp focus. Sports law attorney Dr. Emir Crown has raised the concern about those reforms which took effect on March 27, 2026. These rules govern how and when and also the number of athletes who can switch national representation in a 4-year cycle. It's an issue which was placed on the front burner last summer after 4 Jamaicans, including 3 Olympic medalists from the Paris Olympics, indicated that they were switching allegiance to Turkey. At the core of Dr. Crown's concern is whether the new restrictions embedded in the regulations comply with competition law principles.
With regard to the new regulations, there could be possible competition law concerns, either EU competition law or even domestic competition law. And basically, the test is whether the restrictions set out in the regulations, are they necessary and proportionate, right? And insofar as they are, then they don't really run afoul of competition law. But if they do, then World Athletics may well have a competition law problem.
Under the revised framework, member federations of World Athletics will now be limited to a maximum of 10 transfer applications per Olympic cycle. More significantly, within that quota, countries can only apply for 1 male and 1 female athlete from any single federation across the same period, which will restrict large-scale recruitment drives.
One imagines or one hopes that World Athletics turn their mind to the issue at some point, but there is a possible competition law concern behind these new regulations.
A comparative look across global sport shows that while transfer of allegiance is regulated, most governing bodies stop short of imposing rigid numerical caps, instead relying on eligibility-based safeguards. For instance, FIFA and World Rugby emphasize nationality, ancestry, and waiting periods to control player movement, while the International Cricket Council applies residency requirements to ensure genuine link between athlete and country. A notable exception is basketball's world governing body FIBA, which explicitly limits the number of naturalized players a national team can field, demonstrating a more direct restriction on athlete mobility. Rule 1.6 of the updated World Athletics Transfer of Allegiance rules state that these regulations do not control how athletes are selected or entered by national Olympic bodies for Olympic Games or other major competitions. Rule 41 of the Olympic Charter says an athlete who has represented one country and later changes nationality can compete for their new country, but only after waiting at least 3 years since last representing their former nation. Keon Rayner reporting for TVJ Sports.